this is Kid Air the Great. Sorry for not getting to this album soon enough. I've been waiting for my CD to arrive. I know it's been out since February. I just got it within the past couple of days. So now that I have it and have listened to it a few times, including just before this review, or the making of this review, should I say, let's get started. I want to share my thoughts on this. So here is the fourth solo album by progressive slash experimental rock mastermind Steven Wilson. This is Hand Cannot Erase. I remember reviewing his last album, The Raven That Refused to Sing, when that came out back in 2013. I still have the video up on my YouTube channel. You can look it up. You actually see me in the flesh. Right now, I don't feel like being seen. Nothing personal, I just don't feel like it right now. And I remember having many positive things to say about that album when it was first released, so no shock, no surprise. Expect me to say a lot of good things about this album too, as it's been released already. So excuse me while I go suck Stevens Wilson really quick. Oh boy, I'm so wrong. Anyway, let's move on to serious business, shall we? So the music is not all that much different from his previous solo albums, but at the same time there are quite a few differences to note. There's some industrial beats in songs like Perfect Life, a frequent use of poppy synths, like 80s style synthesizers. At least they're more noticeable this time around, and more modern style ambient and jazz fusion soundscapes, which are similar to Porcupine Tree's earliest work with albums like The Sky Moves Sideways. I thought I also heard a banjo in the first few seconds of Transients. That's just what I noticed. I looked in the credits, it didn't list them, so I don't know. In relation to all that, the sound on this album is noticeably less old-fashioned and vintage than on the previous album, which had more of that 1970s philosophy going for it. Not a bad thing, I'm just pointing that out. The album structure and flow seems like a fusion of the more free-flowing Grace for Drown, where you had songs that move from one to the other and feature intervals of around 2 minutes or less, without the second CD, of course, and the more individualistic Raven That Refused to Sing, which had 6 self-contained songs that pretty much just did their own thing. Here you have a lot of songs that do their own thing, but you also have a lot of songs that basically flow into the next one. So while you have songs that have their own identity, it's also part of a greater whole. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the first time Steven Wilson has employed female vocals for his music. And I'm not talking about samples or anything taken from other sources. I'm talking about actual vocals specifically made in the context of the album itself, specifically for the music. I haven't listened to enough of his other projects like Blackfield, Incredible Expanding Mind, fucking No Man to really confirm that, and I don't remember hearing them in any of Porcupine Tree's work or the earlier solo albums that Steven Wilson has put out. But just correct me if I'm wrong. If you remember another time where he did it, just let me know, of course. And it's a good idea that they have the female vocals in here because I believe she portrays one of the characters in this story. The lyrics seem to deal with the concept of repressed memories and regrets in someone's life, as the title and the artwork suggests. It seems to take a sort of cinematic journey in musical form, following, I believe, a brother and a sister as they just go through life and basically their experiences before they meet up once again. Correct me if I misinterpret that, of course. That's just how I viewed it when just looking at the lyric sheet and listening to the music. The music, of course, matches up really nicely with the mood of the lyrical story and the concept. Routine, for example, is a lush, low-key track highlighting the character stressing over the responsibilities of adulthood, insisting the routines of daily life keep her on course. And the song after it, also, Home Invasion, seems to barge right in with its more metallic riffs by comparison, maybe revealing a type of mental breakdown for the character. It looks like just the way the lyrics are structured and how it just kind of switches back and forth. Like some of the lyrics are a bit more harder edged, but then when it gets to another verse or chorus, it seems to be a lot more softer. So maybe it might be some sort of bipolar disorder, maybe. I think I'm reading too into this, but that's just how I viewed it, just what I took away from it. The whole album is rounded off on a cathartic, engrossing note. Yeah, I know, I sound very cathartic and enthusiastic now, but anyway, with the song Happy Returns going into Ascendant Here On, after such a wild ride with songs like Ancestral really holding you on the edge of your seat. Such an adventurous song, that one. All in all, this may very well be one of my favorite albums Steven Wilson has ever put out in any of his projects that includes his work with Porcupine Tree and such. In the context of Steven's solo albums, this may be his absolute best, though Grace for Drowning is up there, in my personal opinion. It's very, very close. I really can't think of anything to this album's detriment to really pick at. The great production as always, excellent musicianship, top-notch songwriting. I may be kissing ass right now, but you really can't go wrong with this man's work. Definitely check out this album if you haven't already, and I recommend seeing him live as well. I remember seeing him back during the Raven tour with my ex-girlfriend a couple of years back, and I'm seeing him again in June. Absolutely worth it. Definitely check him out if you haven't. And definitely check out this album also. Thank you very much, and I'll see you.